What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. I hope you guys are doing well. Black Ops Cold War is back. It feels weird saying it because we are just 2 years removed from this being the mainline Call of Duty game, but because Sony pulled a bro move and decided to release it to all PS Plus players, we're getting the opportunity to experience Black Ops Cold War again and actually have a decent population playing it. And I, for one, am excited because I get to experience it on the PS5, I get to play it and enjoy it again as if it's the first time I'm playing it. And in reality, I've always liked Black Ops Cold War. Sure, I had my issues with this game, and I still do. I still think that this game missed a ton of opportunity, missed a ton of its potential. But at its core, Black Ops Cold War is better than any other Call of Duty we've played since Black Ops 4. And that says something considering the fact that both Modern Warfare 2019 and Modern Warfare 2 set records in their sales. But when you look at the core gameplay aspects of Black Ops Cold War, this game feels, looks, and plays like a Call of Duty game. And it's kind of funny because this was the first Call of Duty game that I can remember, and I might be wrong by saying this, where the mainline developer was removed halfway through the game's life cycle, halfway through the game's development cycle, and replaced with a different developer. And of course, originally, this was supposed to be a Sledgehammer game, because if you look at the release dates of previous Call of Duty titles back in 2018, it was a Treyarch title. 2019 was a an Infinity Ward title. 2020 was meant to be a Sledgehammer title, but because of extenuating circumstances, we got Black Ops Cold War, and instead 2021 became that Sledgehammer title. Kind of interesting, really, because we'd never seen that before. There was never a time prior to Black Ops Cold War where Call of Duty and Activision decided, hey, let's take this development team off this game and let's put somebody else in place. And that's what happened with Black Ops Cold War. And a lot of people excuse the issues that we saw during Black Ops Cold War's life cycle because of the fact that this happened. But in all reality, this was to the game's benefit instead of to its detriment. Yes, the game still lacked content at launch. This game still had its problems. But it was because of Treyarch's intervention, in my opinion at least, that this game was able to thrive. Because if we look at what Call of Duty Vanguard became, which was the next title that Sledgehammer Games was allowed to release, this game is far better than Call of Duty Vanguard. It's actually leaps and bounds better than Call of Duty Vanguard. I can just look at the map design alone and say this game is better. But when you take into account the weapon progression, the weapons in general, the gunplay, the movement systems, the perk systems, all of these things were better. Yes, Black Ops Cold War has its problems, and I've documented them well on this channel, but at its core, the game is more Call of Duty than what we've seen from Call of Duty over the last several years, especially when you take into account Modern Warfare 2019. This game feels more like its predecessors than those games ever have or ever will. And that's because Black Ops Cold War is a Call of Duty game at its core. It is all about the gunplay, it is all about the movement system, it's all about the player. It's not about all the extracurriculars. It's not about trying to do too much and delivering too little. It's delivering on the core gameplay. And when you go back and you play this game and realize what it has to offer again, you start to see that Black Ops Cold War could have been something special when it comes to the Call of Duty franchise, and it was held back because of Activision. It was held back because because Treyarch wasn't allowed to realize its full potential. And that's for a plethora of different reasons, probably because of the fact that it was turned over at a very crucial point, but also because Activision has to sell further titles. It can't just focus on one title and have that be its flagship. As much as we all want Treyarch to be the sole developer on Call of Duty because we feel that they're the only developer that actually truly understands this franchise, Activision doesn't feel that way. They feel that they need to have their other developers. They need to make sure that everyone's got their hands in the pot. And unfortunately, that's to the detriment to this franchise. Because I think if Black Ops Cold War was allowed to thrive for years to come, it would have evolved into a game that was much more reminiscent of what Call of Duty used to be. And there's a lot of quality foundation that I see here in Black Ops Cold War that could have been built upon, but unfortunately it felt that a lot of that potential was held back on because Activision had different ideas. They had different motivations than creating the best game possible. And that's what's frustrating. Now, if you have PlayStation Plus and you have the opportunity to go back and play Black Ops Cold War, whether it's the campaign or it's the multiplayer or it's the zombies, I strongly suggest you do so, because you'll realize just how special this game was. And it was released at a time that was very unique, considering the fact that we were in the midst of a pandemic. We didn't know what the certainty was on the horizon. We got a game that, in my opinion, still stands on its own today. It's not a perfect Call of Duty. It's not even necessarily a great Call of Duty when you compare it to other games in this franchise. But it's good enough for its time. And if you take into account what was going on in the world, it was the perfect complement to what people needed. This game served as an opportunity to reconnect with old friends, reconnect with people you hadn't played with in a while, and reconnect with this community. It allowed the Call of Duty community to heal in a way, considering the fact that it was fractured after Modern Warfare 2019. And unfortunately, what preceded this game was Call of Duty Vanguard, which further fractured this franchise. As much as I want to believe that Black Ops Cold War allowed this franchise an opportunity to heal and come together, that was all destroyed with the release of Vanguard, and then subsequently the release of Modern Warfare 2. So when I go back and I play Black Ops Cold War, I feel a little bit disappointed, because I had some hope that the franchise was being steered into a different direction, that Call of Duty was finally going to rediscover its glory years, because I felt that Black Ops Cold War was a great foundation to build the future of Call of Duty off of. But unfortunately, what they decided to do was completely forget about its existence and build off of Modern Warfare 2019. And they completely forgot about all of the great that Black Ops Cold War offered this community, and decided to go against the grain and focus on a game that, in my opinion, set the Call of Duty franchise further back instead of propelling it forward. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Black Ops Cold War helped propel the Call of Duty franchise forward. No, but I think it allowed an actual reset of the franchise, allowed it to be a good base for future games to build off of. But unfortunately, Activision felt that that base, that foundation, was in Modern Warfare 2019, which I would argue is a terrible base to build a game off of, as we've seen in Modern Warfare 2 and in Call of Duty Vanguard. I wish that they had utilized a little bit more of that inspiration for Black Ops Cold War and applied it to their further titles. Now, maybe this is all for naught, and this commentary doesn't mean anything when we find out what Modern Warfare 3 is, or when we find out what even Black Ops 5 is, or whatever Treyarch's next project is. But as it stands right now, it still kind of feels a little bit disappointing that Call of Duty sort of reached its newest peak during the Black Ops Cold War era, when Call of Duty was at least playable, when it was at least a little bit of fun and didn't feel so monotonous and so de-incentivized to play. And that's what Modern Warfare 2 has become. That's what Call of Duty Vanguard was. And unfortunately, I don't know when the light at the end of the tunnel is. And I'm hoping it's coming soon, because I'd love to see Call of Duty return to those glory years. I'd love to see Call of Duty get back to where it used to be. That's what this channel's all about. That's what I've been trying to say. Is as much as I love this franchise, I want to see it be great again. I'm here to try to propel it to be great again. So I hope you are as well. Now, I'd love to hear your opinions on Black Ops Cold War returning. Maybe it's becoming mainstream again. Who knows? But I'd love to hear your opinions about it. So let me know down below in the comment section. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.